Under law, if it's an emergency, if say your landlord is breaking into your apartment and they're home invading you and they're not following the laws, you can give a 60-day notice to move, and that's all I did. And with a 60-day notice comes, you don't have to pay rent for your last month's rent. That's 30. You already paid rent for your 30 days. Like, you don't have to pay rent. It's already paid. 60-day notice with the last month. It's the worst thing a landlord wants to have happen for them. You know what? And you know when it happens? It only happens when you treat your tenant like complete shit, or try to kill your tenant, or whatever. So, there was a beef between Wayne Keller and Phil Thompson, but they aimed their gun at me instead of them. So, I mean, see, Wayne Keller should have shot Phil Thompson under law, but they don't know about law. They're just these dumbass old Canadians. The one guy doesn't even, you should see his hair, it sticks up about that high, it's horrible. But anyways, so I said, okay, you don't understand the law? Okay, 60-day notice. See ya. Because I don't own a house there. I guess they don't understand the law of it. I said, have fun. See ya. And now they are starting to figure it out with themselves as I'm living good, about to make a bacon sandwich. I'm about to have a mukbang and eat about, goddamn, I don't know, how many sandwiches. We'll see how many I end up eating. Because I'm doing more than well. They've been told I have more than I used to have. My motorcycle's nicer than it used to be. It goes 70 kilometers an hour. The other one only used to go 32. I have real gold and real diamonds, whereas I used to wear fake gold and fake diamonds. I got this 925 silver chain, Cuban. I always wanted a Cuban with the box clasp. That was $1,000. Whereas when they home invaded me back in 2017 and stole my chain or broke it or whatever, that was only a chain worth $100. Whereas now I have a chain worth $1,000. So tell me who's winning. Now I have the Canon M100, whereas before I had the Canon, one of those Rebels. Now I have the mirrorless, the new expensive 1080p mirrorless. Let's hurry up and make these sandwiches. Let's see. I got ODSP now. My government pension. I never used to have ODSP. I simply was making money out of my own business. Now I can relax. I can do whatever I want. I'm on ODSP, my support. Some people don't understand, and they're still speaking up loudly even after COVID-19, and they've been told that the economy, it's all changed. Numbers have went up. People are being paid more. People need more money to keep up, to even be that person that they are. Like a guy in an apartment having a bacon sandwich. I'm not a police officer and have all the trucks and all that. I don't have a car yet. Like I said, he's still working to buy his, technically my first vehicle. My first car. And just to be that person, yeah, you do. You need ODSP plus way more. Yeah, to be me. Yeah, you do. And that's the facts. I wouldn't be able to survive. I wasn't able to survive without the ODSP. Because we're putting up with these big intimidating mafia bosses. I had to buy a firearm. That cost $1,300. How the hell are you supposed to afford that on ODSP? But guess what? The government's known that this is needed. That's why we have those clauses. You can get $10,000 exempted a year gifts. There's a lot of exemptions. So what is ODSP? Well, we live in Ontario, and we have many people in Ontario, millions, and in Canada. And when you're born here in Canada, you're born with the birth certificate. And generally, everyone goes to school and has a job, like I did. I made $200,000 taxed. I had a job and made I made more than my father in the United States of America. My dad, he bought his house down in Savannah. I think it was a $65,000 one right off the highway, Memphis. My taxes are paid. I worked with a company out of Chicago, Illinois. Taxes are paid. The fact is, I don't have $200,000 now, but I have a service record, a legal service record. I'm a real veteran. You had ones that were deployed to Afghanistan, but I was so smart, a company picked me up out of the United States. I didn't have to go to Afghanistan like many did, because a big real company, right? There's companies. A big real company picked me up out of the United States. And guess what? We have treaties. This was after I came back from the United States, my United States education. I have Canadian and United States education. So we had to pay our taxes. But yeah, I'm very high up when it comes to who I'm going to be as a man. Because I haven't even been a man yet. I'm only 28. I'm only 28. I'm only 28. I'm almost 30. And all that. So I never owned a firearm before. I used to have a .22 back when I was a kid, eh? But then I bought a firearm recently, and that's great. It's fully legal and everything like that. So that's going to last me for 100 years, if I even last 100 years. I will have my firearms. Just like all the other men do. That's the big awakening call for our other men, or it's supposed to be if you're a Canadian citizen, is that Tom's now a firearm owner. Not a fake one, not a BB gun, not an imitation. That was the past. But in reality now I have a real legal firearm. So what does that usually mean in our society when a man buys a firearm and you've been told that it's a fully, all that? Well, it's time to leave that man alone. Congratulations. That man went from being a kid to a real man. Right before his 30th birthday. About on time, eh? So no, I'm not scared of Phil Thompson and Cam Thompson or any of them. Not even JD anymore. And he's got a 7.62. Because there's guys that'll tell you it doesn't matter what caliber, you can't pick on a guy if he's got a little 32 and you got a 7.62. Because that 32 is going to kill you just as quick as a 7.62. Well, no, not as quick as a 7.62. But it's going to hit it just as hard as a 7.62. Except it's going to hit 32. 7.62 hits you with the 7.62, whereas the 32 hits you with the 32. So you're getting hit with the same shit, just one's bigger and one's a little bit smaller. And then when we go to court, I beat it and you don't. Because I'll testify I don't do anything against the law. Oh my goodness, but fuck that. I don't give a fuck about that. I can't stand that for that even becoming a thing because it's not my personality. But America, all the people that got their police licenses last go or whatever in college, they got this big get-go right now. The government and the police and the military, those new kids. You got ones that think they're so special. You got ones that... They got all different ones. Trust me, the internet is fucking changed completely. That share cache isn't even the same site anymore. Anyways, yeah, I see how it works now. Oh, I see how it works now too, like me and Cam were the same age. You have all different time periods. So me and Cam didn't know what was going on really. We were only feeling it out. We didn't know. Cam's only a new landlord. He's not been a landlord for 50 years. He didn't know this, that, and the other. And that was their little playoff defense. It's a scary thing. You don't even want to get in any disputes. That's what my dad does. My dad doesn't get in any disputes. My dad learned early on that's why he won't even talk to me. Because of my reputation. He doesn't want any disputes. Not even the dispute of, what do you like more on your bacon sandwich? Ketchup or... Even that gets annoying. No, Justin Trudeau probably doesn't eat this many sandwiches. Justin Trudeau comes across as a guy that might cut one sandwich in half. He eats that and his wife eats the other half. And they let it settle together and then they don't have any stomach ache after and they go to business, and then that's when you see Justin walk in and that was how I was back when I was a kid. And then I went to McDonald's, I think it was. And I started growing. That's how our great majority is. Did you know I'm one of my only kind here in Canada? In the United States, we have lots of mongoloids, but not here in Canada. I'm one of the only ones. But yesterday I seen a big black guy, even bigger than me. He was my Intelcom driver. Or not mine, but he was driving, delivering. He delivered a package yesterday. But there isn't many big people in Canada. But there is. But most are even smaller than Justin. And to me, that's sort of like our main population. Like my father and all that. But at the same time, it's not David and Goliath. I have rights too. You can't just stone me to death. We have our own bank accounts and all that. If I have 5 million, yeah, it's like that, buddy. I look down on you. Welcome to Canada. But there's people looking down on me. And I remember when people used to look down on me when I was at the very bottom. It's a right you get to earn. It's what makes Canada. We love to chuckle and laugh. But guess what? In Canada, we know if that guy's working hard, the guy we're chuckling and laughing at, he might be laughing all the way to the bank. That's part of American and Canadian history. You can make fun of me today, but I'm going to be laughing all the way to the bank tomorrow. And that should be a part of our laws. And it is. Don't let the police scare you when they try to do this. ODSP isn't a bad thing. It's not a burden. It's a good thing. Don't be scared. You can have as much money as you want. You're not going to get arrested. It's not a criminal matter. The police have been trying to make it this communist, as you've heard down in the United States. That's only one people. It's these police. And they're doing it on a case-by-case basis, so it's illegal. It's not a uniform communism. They're individually robbing and picking on handicapped people, saying, oh, you can't have this money, you can't have that right, and all that. They've been doing that for 100 years here in Canada. I even heard about that long ago. Okay, if you're born in one of those families, I was born in a family where they said, if those police get you, they beat you up, and all that. And they come from a family where they said, once you get them, you beat them up. So if you want to just stay in your family, stay in your family. And then we came to modern times where I was able to meet and stand up. I've met with the police. I've had sex with the police. Okay. The female's opinion is pretty strong out in the police, more than you'd think. I didn't know that. The female opinion will make a man cry, make a man commit suicide. I could have did it. I could have did it. Okay. But I'm not one of those guys to make a, another guy cry, but that's a weakness. They say you're supposed to make other guys cry. But it went against my character. I had this character or whatever in Canada. I just basically like would bow down to people, you know, I wouldn't. I had many opportunities where the girls were horny, boy. Where all I had to do was this, that, and the other, and I would have been having sex and the guy would have cried and committed suicide. But I just never was into it in the beginning. I mean, like, I was into it, but I felt bad for my fellow Canadian men and all that. Like, I was one of these male health guys. My whole family was. My Auntie Susan. We cared about our fellow citizens, our fellow men and women. I wanted to see other men and women happy. I was already happy. But I did say to myself that one day I was going to change and I was going to get a woman, find a woman. I got the processing down. It's a capture program. It's sort of like, it's a woman, you know, it's a whole woman. Holy fuck. See, I can't even handle it right now. I don't know if I'll ever have the taste for it. Having a woman. Because some people have women, right? Well, sitting right over there on the couch. Or I have my mom. See, that's the thing. A lot of us that had our moms still, we haven't even done our full man transition. Matthew has his mom, had his mom. And I had my mom. Justin had his mom quite a bit, but not as much. My mom was a single mom. Matt's mom had a husband, but they were separate because well, not separate, like they were together, but Matt's mom used to go on the computer. Justin's mom and dad used to be like together all the time. When Justin's mom is not at work, she's with Kevin. Whereas my mom was a single mom and all that. So Justin had got more girlfriends, and then Matt eventually started getting more girlfriends. But I don't think Matt's married yet. Maybe he is. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe he does. I don't know. I haven't talked to Matt in years.